This is 7 National News and in our top story. The UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has chaired a meeting of the UAE Cabinet at the Presidential Palace in Abu Dhabi. During the meeting, the Cabinet endorsed a new organizational structure for the Ministry of Education in order to improve the quality of education for students, with the decree coming in line with the 2015-21 educational plan that is based on the National Agenda Indicators and the UAE Vision 2021. Commenting on the restructuring, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed said that improving education in the UAE is the top priority of the government, and efforts will continue to provide a best-in-class education system. The new organizational structure will provide flexibility by introducing 2 under-secretary positions in the ministry, one for academic affairs and the other for quality and supporting services. It also introduces 6 assistant under-secretaries positions to support building institutional capacity of the ministry, especially in curriculum development and in monitoring and evaluating methodologies. The new structure will separate issues related to policies and operation, particularly in monitoring and evaluation, as well as supporting services through 6 sectors, with each under-secretary responsible for 3 sectors. In addition to the measures related to education, the Cabinet also reviewed other topics on the agenda and approved the issuance of a law related to financial regulation and bankruptcy, with the proposed draft law to present flexible strategies to bail out businesses encountering financial troubles leading to bankruptcy. The aim of the draft law is to regulate accumulated debts, ease the restructuring of companies, as well as support troubled businesses. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and the Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces and Chairman of Abu Dhabi Executive Council, has issued a resolution to regulate farms in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. According to the resolution, the Department of Municipal Affairs and the concerned municipalities shall coordinate with the responsible authorities to classify existing and future farms and oversee the raising of rams. They shall also propose suitable sites for leasing farms and for creating associated facilities, as well as for receiving the Executive Council's approval and registering farms. Further, the resolution provides for accommodation facilities and animal facilities that require licensing according to each farm category, classifying farms into breeding, grazing and seasonal farms. During its 12th meeting held in Abu Dhabi on Sunday, the National Election Committee has adopted the Electoral College for this year's Federal National Council elections. The college will constitute 224,279 members representing all the Emirates, which is an increase of 66% in the number of members compared to the 2011 elections, which had an Electoral College comprising 135,308 UAE nationals. The Electoral College includes 90,408 members from Abu Dhabi, 53,568 from Dubai, 31,766 from Sharjah, 6,090 from Ajman, 4,105 from Al Quwain, 27,455 from Ras Al Khaimah, and 10,887 members from Fujairah. The Electoral College list has been published today by the NEC on its website www.uaenec.ae and its smart app National Election Committee. Citizens can verify the names in the Electoral College of their respective emirate, searching either by emirate's ID number or their full name as mentioned on the ID or the first 3 segments of their name. The majority of the members are below 40 years, representing 67% of the Electoral College, with up to 52% of members being men, while women make up the remaining 48%. The Electoral College elects half of the members of the Federal National Council, while the remaining half is nominated by the rulers of the respective emirates. There were 35 accidents reported by Dubai police in the first 15 days of Ramadan, as compared with 83 in the same period last year. Colonel Saif Maher Al-Mazroui, the director of Dubai Traffic Police, was quoted as saying that there were 6 deaths and 35 injuries in the first 15 days of Ramadan this year, compared with 7 deaths and 70 injuries in 2014, with the statistics not including minor accidents. This Ramadan, of the 35 injured, 14 were injured severely, 6 sustained moderate injuries and 15 sustained minor injuries. Of the total accidents, 19 occurred in the morning and 16 in the evening. 70 people were injured in the first 15 days of Ramadan last year. 7 were seriously injured, 39 were moderately injured, and 24 sustained minor injuries. According to local reports, Colonel Al-Mazroui added that in June this year there were more traffic fatalities than in 2014, stating that most accidents in June and in Ramadan involved trucks, a problem he said still persists. Colonel Al-Mazroui explained that truck drivers are still being overworked and companies continue to neglect their vehicles' maintenance. According to the report, the police are looking into working with other entities such as the RTA, the Ministry of Labour and the Department of Economic Development to come up with a solution and to also hold company owners responsible for the problem. And traffic authorities in Abu Dhabi have announced the reduction of speed limits on the Mafraq to Al Ghuweifat highway down to 121 kilometers an hour. According to a statement from the Abu Dhabi police and local reports, the decision is intended to cut road accidents following deadly crashes due to high speed by some drivers. Radars have been installed along the 327-kilometer motorway linking the western towns of Mafraq and Ghuweifat near the border with Saudi Arabia to enforce the new restrictions. Furthermore, authorities have also placed new signboards showing the new speed limits to alert the drivers using the road. In order to meet the expectations of security arrangements for upcoming infrastructure projects such as the Abu Dhabi Airport Midfield Terminal, holding company Tawazun has announced to build a new training facility for disaster management. At a press conference, the CEO of Tawazun Industrial Park announced the signing of the construction agreement with AECOM, with the Tawazun Safety and Security Disaster Management City, also known as Al Jaheziya, expected to be completed by the third quarter of 2019. Although the full value of the city has not yet been disclosed, officials announced that the 1 square kilometer project will offer disaster management training at different zones which include rail transportation, maritime, industrial, aviation, experimental and academic and support zone. The training will be based on unified international standards and is expected to prepare the emergency response personnel for major incidents such as fire, earthquake and terrorism-related issues such as hijacking. Speaking to the media during the signing ceremony, the CEO of Tawazun Industrial Park added that the new Jaheziya city, to be based at the industrial city Abu Dhabi, will be a major upgrade to their current facilities, with multiple zones where scenario-based training will be offered.
The purpose of this project is to build a city that simulates different type of industry in the area of safety, security and disaster management, such as oil and gas, aviation and CPRN, also you have industrial constructions and more. So what's going to happen there is once we build this city, you will have a different part of the industry coming in the same area to simulate their own training in that specialized area of trainings. It's not only firefighting, but also you have simulation that simulate earthquakes, hijacking, disaster management in the aviation sector as well. So you'll have probes such as an aircraft, a terminal, you'll have oil rigs, and many more. What we want at the same time, we want everybody to speak the same language. Training in the firefighting area has many different standards. And we want to unify the standards in this city so that everybody in different entities can speak the same language in the future.
And finally, in the bulletin, with the UAE's temperatures rising, residents are advised to always make sure they wear sunscreen before stepping outside, but medical experts say excessive use of sunscreen can do more harm than good. Exposure to the sun has been linked to the development of skin cancers, which according to the World Health Organization has been increasing over the past 10 years as the Earth's ozone layers are thinning out. Each year, between 2 and 3 million non-melanoma skin cancers and 132,000 melanoma skin cancers are diagnosed globally. In addition, prolonged exposure to UVB rays causes sunburns and can contribute towards the development of skin cancers. However, having sunscreen on doesn't mean that the skin is protected against skin cancer and other damaging effects of the sun.
It's important to get some sun because of the vitamin D issues here in the UAE. For example, 2/3 of Emirati people are vitamin D deficient. It's also important to remind people that don't get any sun that you should get some sun, because this is a vital step in the last part of the conversion to activate vitamin D. So we need to ingest enough of the precursor that will make the vitamin D, and then the kidney and the liver activate it, and the last step is the sun, which will make it an active form of vitamin D3. And vitamin D3 is necessary for production of our hormones, male and female hormones, and there's also deficiencies of vitamin D have been linked to diseases such as multiple sclerosis.
Experts also warn that using the wrong sunscreen product could be more harmful to the skin than sun exposure, and increasing the SPF above 30 to 40 may not increase the protection. In fact, many sunscreen products, according to some experts, may include harmful ingredients that can cause a number of problems related to allergy, reaction and skin cancer, and can disrupt the hormones.
The skin is an organ, and the skin gets an application of this sunscreen every 2 or 3 hours, especially in the case of a child. This is it contains chemicals in order to make it stick to the skin so that the sweat and the sea won't make it come off. But these chemicals have issues. The most important ones to think of are probably para-amino-benzoic acid, which is abbreviated PABA, and retinol palmitate, and there are a few other ones as well that modify hormones. And the problem is, of course, on the back of the packet, the ingredients are written, but they're usually written in yellow, and they're so small that you can't see them. So there are several issues with it. I think maybe the safest approach for people is to get a little bit of sun and not to spend all day outdoors with these chemicals on their body.